Hello and welcome to this exclusive vlog recorded in aid of Paranormal Romance audiobook fair beginning next week, running from the 1st of April until the 5th. I would love to share with you a project that I'm currently working on, which is the second in these gorgeous books. Look how beautiful they are. Gorgeous books full of gorgeous characters written by pretty gorgeous lady, Rosemary A. John's Rebel Angels series. I've already recorded the first, which is Vampire Huntress. This beautiful book, which is already available in audiobook form. I'll pop the link at the bottom. The stories focus around Violet, who is a monster of sorts. I don't really want to give too much away. When I say monster, she's half angel, half vampire. I don't think I'm giving too much away by saying that. This is the second book, so it may give something away straight away, so just bear in mind I might accidentally give a spoiler. If you're that precious and you really don't want to know anything that's happening, then start with the first book. But in the meantime, I'm going to go straight into an excerpt from chapter 7. Now, I know that what we want is romance, but I think also occasionally what we want is a bit of meat with our romance. We want complex relationships, and sometimes a few of them. We want conflict, we want taboo. So in this chapter, I am introducing us at a point where Violet's mother, the matriarch, has sent Violet to war. They're about to do battle with the vampires. And I've chosen this excerpt because we can see the development of a number of different romantic and otherwise relationships with Violet and a number of other characters. So, chapter 7. Violet butterfly wings trembled in the piercing full moon's light on London fields. Ranks of the war-winged waited for the enemy in the cold night's quiet, in a park that had once been my human hunting ground. But now it was the battlefield, where I was the prize. As I shivered in the breeze, which whipped across the bleak open ground and wound around the London plane trees, I ached. So this was homesickness, more like being shanked in the back, and since Rebel had fallen into my world, I'd been blessed with that first as well, because I couldn't even fib to myself anymore. I wasn't human anymore. And the last time I'd been here in London, I'd been clutching onto my human life like it was my top score ever, never to be repeated, got back or won again. By saving the humans, I'd slaughtered my own humanity. I fiddled with the buckled straps of the gold leather armour, which Gwyn had tenderly helped do up for me earlier. Gwyn had fussed around in mother hen mode before dragging me into a hug. Mind and look after yourself, Gwyn had sniffled into my hair, and no getting yourself killed. That's an order, see. Pushy for a slave. Another violent shiver shook me. Drake edged closer. Rich frankincense blew warm kisses across my cheeks. For a moment it looked like Drake would slip his arm around me, but then he crossed his arms instead. I'd reckoned that leaving with Drake to another world, I'd discover what I was, that if I wasn't human, then maybe I did belong with him. Yet Jay had warned me, ever since I was 3, that I wouldn't be saved by angels. Why hadn't I listened? Except now it was the angelic army saving me from the vampires, and not the drop you to your knees with all type, the kids. I stared out at the line of teenage soldiers. Glories and wings, they shuffled, fluttered their small wings, and booted their heels agitatedly, like cadets the world over, until Battle or her sister barked at them to straighten their shoulders. These weren't cadets on manoeuvres, however. They were angels about to get their asses kicked by a vampire army. To protect me. I twisted to Drake, my hands shaking, but not because of the cold. What the hell is up with sending out the munchkins? Call off this battle of newbies. Enough. You are not the only one being tested in this battle, and you have no choice. Drake hesitated before adding, nor do I. I studied him. I get you believe that because some bitch, I held back saying my mum, but we both heard it, has broken you. But even if both choices are bastard bad ones, there's always a choice. Like, what if you parked your ass down and refused to fight? Or had a parley with the vampires instead of letting these kids die? Or then not only would you dishonour yourself, you'd be killed for breaking orders. Are you considering such foolishness? Because if you are—" He yanked me closer by my elbow. "I shall render you unconscious. Otherwise, you'd live long enough to see these trainees executed by the matriarch before you died." I gaped at him. "That's twisted." "No choice," he repeated. "Was I right?" "You're a prick," I pouted. "But—" He gazed out over the teenage ranks, and I didn't miss the way he clenched his fists. "We have a choice over how we fight, do we not?" His eyes gleamed. "It's hard to suffer alone, but now you're here. Would you join me, Princess, in some babysitting duties?" My eyes widened. The Ice Commander thawed enough over trainees to bend the matriarch's rules, looking out for kids in battles. Drake took my hesitation for rejection and paled. "I apologise for the suggestion. I request you don't tell the matriarch until after the battle. Then I'll take whatever—" No one's ever trusted the bitch of Utopia to babysit their darlings before. I nodded toward the trainees. "If they're sacrificing themselves for me, then I'm William Wallace in them. What do you—" I marched up in front of the nervous line. Their heads bobbed up until I was facing a sea of nervous yet hopeful faces. Like little jades. Hell, some of them weren't even in their teens. I shuddered with the need to shank the matriarch and feel the blade's tips sink through skin, and that urge hadn't washed through me with such desperation for years. The matriarch was messing with me. She was so close, my skin tightened. Where was she? "I'm in your head, baby bird." "What? Who the hell—" "Your queen. I'm using your eyes to watch the battle. Make me proud." The matriarch was in my head. Her intimate possession wasn't like Jay, familiar and comfortable. Part of me. It was a violation. "Get out. I don't want you inside me." "Too late. You're mine." I grimaced. It sounded too much like Jay. Then I held myself motionless. Where was Jay? Had the matriarch discovered him, hurt him, wiped him from my brain? Enough with the controlling mother act. I don't need you. Yet I need you. How do you think I view my army? By truth, I normally use my wing, but you're the precious who demanded to fight. You think I'd cower behind kids, like you, safe in your mountain? The fallen are here. Fly true, my daughter." The night sky blotted, locust style, as the fallen descended on London fields, putting out the moon. I was pushed back by the whirlwind gust of beating wings. Was Ash among their ranks? What would I do if we were forced to fight? Our soldiers grasped at each other's shoulders or cringed as the vampires landed in a thudding quake. This was these kids' first battle, their test, survive or die. No way I was letting them die. "Look at me!" I hollered over the beat of wings, pound of feet, and whining fear of our soldiers. The trainees settled. "You're smaller than they are. Nippy. So you get in and out, going for the hands and head. The quick kill, you get me?" I licked my lips, pressing my nails into my palms. "Remember, I'm your monster princess. Every one of you who fights for me is fam. I've got your back." I caught sight of one girl, Glory, with short ash-blonde hair that tumbled over her eyes. She was tinier than the rest, but had twice as much attitude, even though she was using her scowl to hide her trembling lip. She could have been me at that age, about to face down a shank on Utopia Estate, but she hadn't even been given her own weapon. When I crouched down in front of her, the girl Glory meeked before hiding behind her hair. Anne Piel tensed, her eyes flaming in the dark. What did she reckon I was going to do? Incinerate the miniature Glory? "What's your name?" I asked. "A." The Glory scuffed her suede boot back and forth in the grass, flattening a trench. At least the kid had boots, unlike the blokes, including Drake, who stood barefoot in the damp. I mean, my name is A, if it pleases you, Princess Violet, by the matriarch." "Screw that curtsy of a mouthful, girl. Call me Feathers. We're mates now, yeah?" So that was an excerpt from the fabulous Rosemary A. Johns' Vampire Princess. It's the second book in her Rebel Angels series and will be available for purchase in audiobook form soon. Maybe in about a month. I'm currently working on it and I'm way more than halfway through, and it is fabulous. The first book, Vampire Huntress, is already available on Amazon and iTunes, and I shall pop the link at the bottom of this. So this vlog has been recorded exclusively for Paranormal Romance Audiobooks Audiobook Fair. week, which begins next week, 1st to the 5th of April. If you're not already a member of the group, I shall put that link below this video as well. Go ahead and join and prepare for more exclusive readings, book launches, and a brilliant competition where I think you can win something like over 50 audiobooks, I think. Don't quote me on that. That's a guess. There is a competition. Anyway, I am Rebecca McKernan. Thank you for listening. Have a fabulous Friday. Mwah.